One. What's up, everybody? This is Luke Stokes, and I got Noisy on the line. We were just chatting earlier, and we're like, hey, let's do a quick recording to talk about this. So he's going to talk about Wise, which is a really cool thing that actually I first heard about it at the dinner table at Steamfest 2. He had this idea of actually tokenizing individual votes so that someone could give someone else access to their account to just upvote one thing. And it can be controlled. It can be, for certain categories, certain different things. So I personally think this is a really interesting idea. I could use it myself to help support the open mic project that Lucifer does, because he sends me links all the time and I go and upvote them. And it would just be so nice to say, here's X number of votes per week. You can go ahead and use them as we agreed. So yeah, Noisy, thanks for thinking of this. This is a cool idea and I want to learn more. So we're just going to walk through it, yeah?
Yes, first of all, thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure to not only talk with you once again, like from time to time, but also have a little bit more wider audience. So as you already said, yes, Wise is a project we actually discussed last year during Steamfest. And I need to admit that our conversation was really important to me because I already have some similar idea to this. And our conversation was like the first confirmation for me that actually this makes a lot of sense. And I figured out later a few things, how this could be tweaked, how this could be done. And we are now a few months later and we have actually something, actually we have already working product currently. We right now have, this is not even a prototype, this is something like MVP. So this is, have small set of features, but it works already pretty well. And people are actually using it on a daily basis.
That's awesome. Yeah, and MVP is minimal viable product.
Yes. So do you hear me well? Because I think I'm cutting out a little bit. Or
yeah, no, I think that was me. I hit mute real quick, but we're good. Okay. I want to make sure I'm on mute when you're doing your demo. So why don't you go ahead and jump in and show us the demo? Tell us a little bit more about it. I'm pretty excited to hear about it.
Okay, before I will jump directly to the demo, I think it's good to tell a little bit more about the purpose of the whole project, because you already said something about that, but there's plenty of ways how this could be described. But I like this. We all know that on Steam, we vote, and this is something essential to our platform. This is actually what builds the whole community, the value of it. But I noticed someday when value of Steam spiked like to the very high values, suddenly my vote was worth like $10, $20, and suddenly I had a problem that it was not so easy anymore for me to actually vote for stuff. Why is that? Because when my vote was worth like $1, $2, I could find like plenty of different posts which deserve to be rewarded with $1, $2, right? But suddenly when my vote was worth $20, okay, that was not so easy to pick a post, right? And I wanted to pick a greatest post which I could find and reward, right? So what I could do, okay, I can always use like 50%, maybe 25%. But this is not a complete solution because whole system is designed in such a way that I'm incentivized to vote for something rather than nothing because of the curation rules, right? So this caused that at the end of the day, I didn't vote for the best content on the platform. I, in most cases, voted for just enough content to not waste my vote, right? And this is not optimal. We should try to find the greatest content on the platform and try to reward it. But of course, this is impossible, right? This is not possible to find the greatest and undervalued post to vote. And we think that we actually found a solution to do that, and we can do that with the power of the community. We can leverage expertise of particular people. So things is actually really, really simple. So no one is expert about everything, right? I know that Luke Stokes is a great programmer, so I know that he is kind of expert about that, right? So if Luke Stokes would tell me that this, for example, some post about some program on Steam is great, I can trust him. Why? Because I know him, I trust his expertise. So this is very often enough for me to, if he would ask me, could you take a look on that? This is really great. Please support that because this deserves tons of upvotes. Yes, I will vote for that because I know that he makes his research. I trust him. He is an expert. Okay, that is enough for me, right? So he would give me a link for that post. I would vote for that. But this could be actually a little bit, I don't want to say automated, but this could be actually improved. So the idea is that I can actually set up rules and give, for example, you a way to use my vote automatically. But what is really important, this is not just like just another stupid bot. Because decision will be always made by a human. In that case, you will need to decide how you are going to spend my vote. So you will be responsible whether you will cast this vote properly or not. That is one thing. Another thing is, for example, I trust you in terms of knowledge, expertise about programming, but I don't know anything about, for example, what and different preference. Maybe I know about politics and so on. Maybe I don't want to give you power to support content which I will not be able to like, right? So that's why this is better than normal delegation, because with normal delegation I lost total control about my Steem power. And here I can actually define any rules I like, how my vote could be used by you. Yeah. So for example, I can say Lukestoke can post with my vote only for post with tag programming, and maybe only for post for authors with greater reputation than 25, or maybe only once a week. Or actually, I will be able to set up any rules, and then Lukestoke will not be able to actually. I don't believe you would do that. But I have like a certainty that you will not be able to abuse that. That allows to actually build even more trust, because I can try this without a risk, right?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's a tool set for curation guilds and curation teams that are going to be fantastic, where I can say, here's a whole group of communities that are really knowledgeable about art. Here's a community that's really knowledgeable about, like you said, programming or cryptocurrency. And if I can say, hey, I want to support that community, but we don't have to agree on everything. There might be people that have completely different political views as me, or they might have a different perspective on other things. Maybe they want to vote about how, the earth is flat or whatever. And I don't have to support that vote by, completely delegating to them or putting them on a Steem voter, for example, that will just upvote any content that they create. So that's the part about this that I really liked, is the potential to be able to give someone access to the power of your vote in a way that's strategic and is thoughtful, and it goes back to supporting proof of brain, which is the whole point of Steem.
Yes.
So I'd love, if you've got some time, just show us a little bit about what you already have built. I think that would be fun.
Of course. Let's go here. Do you see my screen right now?
Yep, I can see it.
So actually, the viewers of this video, actually, you have something like sneak peek of something what was not fully released yet. Actually, this is live, this is ready, but we didn't announce this yet. This post probably will be ready in just a few days, probably. But I want to show you something like this. This is a roadmap of our project. So this is a lesson which I learned from my previous projects, right? We should not build everything at start, right? So we built like something like base. We have a really solid base, which even now provide the core value of the product. So currently, this is very easy to use. For example, if I delegate a right to use my vote for you, then it's super easy to use by you. It's more difficult to set up by me, but it's fine, because in most cases, one person delegates maybe to 20 people, and so on and so on. So right now we are onboarding those people which want to delegate to others, and this is how this works, right? So right now I will show you how this works on terms of this current MVP version, but I need to emphasize that this is just a tip of the iceberg, right? We are building other stuff on that.
Yeah, it's a good
So
point to make that this is just a minimal viable product. It's just a demonstration of the functionality. I imagine it's going to get much easier over time and more simple for people to use. So again, it's wise.vote, and that is the product we're checking out right now.
yes, so this is the simplest interface which we could came up with and code quickly, which basically allows me to use someone else's vote. Right now, I basically delegate to other people. So imagine that, for example, your vote name. So here, let's think who should here be given. Okay, this is. This is a user from Steem. This is a user from Polish community. We are testing this among Polish community right now. So this is a user which I trust. This is my friend, really good expert about certain things. And currently he needs, so I'm showing this from his perspective, right? So he needs to say, okay, I want to vote from like a noise using my voting power, right? Sorry that this is here's demo in Polish, like some strings in Polish. I didn't expect that we were going to talk today right now.
Oh, it's
but I'll
fine.
try
It's
to.
fine.
So, for example, I know that he is really good at science, about technology, cosmos, and programming, right? I trust him about this completely. So what I created, he can use my vote for flagging about those posts or for upvoting. But there is a requirement that the posts need one of those tags, right? Those are Polish tags used by Polish community. For
Very
example,
cool.
Polish posts about programming, right? But there's also interesting part. I denied him to use my vote for himself.
Yeah, that's very cool.
He cannot vote himself with me. And for example, this is his also really interesting. Basically, I will make you just another sneak peek. This is like CMS, content management system built on top of Steem. He's the author of that. And I decided, of course, he likes the content which he published there. So I also decided, please don't vote for yourself. But I trust him. But at the same time, I wanted to show to the public that he can use my vote only for particular things.
Yeah,
right?
you have the ability to give away the Steem Power vote that you have in a very controlled way that still gives them the appropriate level of freedom to make an expert decision that you may not have, but also at the same time saying, you know, you're pretty confident that it's going to be used in a way that won't backfire. Because I know that's a problem often when people say, oh, I want to delegate to this project or I want to help support this thing. And we have no idea what's going to happen after that. And oftentimes some of the drama we deal with is where people that we think are doing great work go off the deep end. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh man, now I got to deal with the fallout of supporting a project or a person who has lost trust with the community. So I think this is a really cool idea. And as you mentioned too, I want to point this out. The roadmap is specific about integrating with Steem Connect. I would highly incentivize everyone to never put your posting password into any website. Really, you know, using Steem Connect, using Vessel, those are things I would highly recommend. That's the rule I take. I use a separate account whenever I want to use just testing things out. I don't use my primary account.
Exactly, I do exactly the same. I have my, I make something even like a noisy account and noisy call to where I have all my Steem Power, which I delegate to my main account. Yes, we decided to actually do not focus on integration on Steem Connect in the very first moment, just because we realized that in most cases, this website will be used by those people which do not have actually a lot of Steem Power. Like, because in most cases, the whale delegate to the smaller accounts, right? So, but at the same time, we totally understand this will be integrated to the Steem Connect pretty soon. I know I already integrated the Steem Connect in different places. So
and hopefully Vessel too. My favorite is Vessel because then I don't have to copy and paste passwords. I get a beautiful.
I already talked with Jesta about
Excellent.
that.
Excellent.
There are a few problems if we could make this in optimal way. But interesting part is because you could actually create something like vote order from the Vessel even right now, because what this does, this use a feature called custom JSON. and custom JSONs can be posted from the vessel. We will need to just provide instruction how to do that. Okay, so let's go back to the demo and try to show how this will work, or how principles of that. So let's try to find some posts which will fit the criteria, right? So for example,
real quick, to make sure that I understand, when you hit load rules from Noisy, it actually queried your account for that specific user and said, here's what Noisy has already configured for you to be able to do. Is that correct?
Those information are pulled from the blockchain. Everything is completely transparent. So I will try to find this rule, because we do not provide the search yet. But I define
that's fine. That's so cool. That answers my question right away. The fact that when it queried for your rules, it did so on the blockchain. That's a beautiful thing.
Actually, I found this pretty quickly. Here are defined rules in JSON format. So it's completely transparent. Everyone can check that. So actually, the website loads this from the blockchain. So okay, let's go now to find some posts from, for example, from this tag. I made a mistake. Give me a second. Okay, take one. Ruler. Okay, so imagine, I will not vote for that because I'm against voting on something what I didn't read, right? But for example, we could pick this post, and this post can be really quickly evaluated. So, for example, this user can use even 100% of my voting power, but imagine only 50, right? Validate vote order.
Very cool. I like that. So you can pre-check it.
Yes, exactly. Because even if that would be against and someone would trick the website, there's another check on another site. So this is just for the convenience. So later, actually, this is here just posted posting key. Later with Steem Connect, just a click and that. But I will make like full demo with like another. For example, I have another account.
Real quick, I have a question here. So once that happens and it submits, now how does Wise? So Wise has to have the posting key of Noisy in order to post as Noisy, right?
Yes.
How is Wise storing that? How is that posting key controlled?
So we started with the self-hosted version. So we knew that we need to actually approach the whales, and whales are extremely they want to be extremely secure, and this is of course proper behavior. So they can actually install open source script on their machine.
Interesting.
And they can like make sure in any way that this is perfectly secure, right? So if someone already used some other scripts, they will already know that how to configure everything. We provided the instruction. Of course, this is not right now ready for like an average Joe, but we needed to start it with some base, and later, as I already showed, later we will build a Wise portal, and then people will be able to just integrate that with the Steem Connect, and they will not need to give us any key. But what is important, people don't need to trust anyone. If they don't trust Wise portal, they will be able to set up actually a second instance of a Wise portal. This will be open source. This will be free, but also they can also create, run simple self-hosted script, right? So we want to provide like at the same time convenience and security, but this cannot be done with one product, so we needed to provide a couple of them, right?
And I love that you know enough about the security, and you and I are completely on the same page that it's extremely important to educate users of the Steem blockchain to never put your private key, your posting key anywhere where it could be compromised. And so I do appreciate that, and I want to make that point really clear for people watching the video, that this is just a work in progress, and it will be secure and convenient in the future. One of the things that I was curious about, does the script that you talked about, or the Wise portal, is it querying the blockchain looking for JSON data, and then once it finds it, it then goes, oh, now I need to go upvote that post? Is that how the interaction works?
exactly. This use history API. Unfortunately, because this API is slow, a little bit faster lately. So probably for convenience, we will provide also cached API, but product will always support native blockchain API. So
Very cool.
you will be able to easily adjust convenience, security, and how you prefer, right?
Nice.
I want to show you another use case, and here I will also be able to actually vote with that tool. So I have another account. This is my second account, which I use for Polish community. I post there only for, text in Polish, but from time to time, I just do not have access to my main account. I have this account, right? So what I said, I created a rule that from this account, I can always use my main account, just for convenience. But also what I did, I didn't set up any. Okay, I always set up one rules, Polish, right?
Yeah,
Only,
yeah.
but I could also set up. Didn't set up any rules. Probably, give me a second. Lenka is my wife, and she can vote with my vote for anything.
Wise man. Your wife can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what is beautiful? I can always revoke this vote. I always. Yeah, this is because this is normal vote, right?
Yep.
So everything is great. So okay, now I will pick. Okay.
Yeah, that's a really important point that you just said. When you delegate to someone and they vote for something you don't like, your only other option is to flag it. But in this situation, you wouldn't have to flag it. You could just remove that vote because it's still your account voting,
yes,
which is
really exactly. So imagine that I picked the same post. This is still valid for these rules. I need to right now provide my posting key for this account. Give me a second. Fortunately, this is okay here. Okay, this is correct. And set a wise vote. Click.
Live demo, people. Live demo.
Yeah, don't do live demos. They are always dangerous, right? In most cases, they don't work. But I see it worked, so it's great. I will try to show that on. I prefer the view of Steemd, but Steemd has like lack of a few seconds. So maybe we'll go to SteemDB this time. So first I will show you a perspective of Noisy2. So the account which requested a vote, right? Because this is actually a request. Is SteemD work?
That'll come through as an actual custom JSON on that account. Is that correct?
Yes. We're just using Steem as a transparent layer for the communication. Okay. What is... Sorry.
This is again part of the whole live demo thing.
Yes,
I think we get it though. Like I definitely, we could, when you post this, we can actually link to the individual actions so people can go and take a look at them, analyze the JSON that you're using. But I think this is
SteemD works. Oh, okay, it's already
loaded. There it is. Yeah, there it is.
It's like external, not our tools, right?
Yeah.
But what you can see here, so Noisy2 asked Noisy for a vote for a very specific post with 50% vote.
That is cool.
And what is here also important, he said, I'm asking you to vote for that because you defined this very rule. So this is like confirmation. I'm asking you.
That's cool. So you include the rule set at the time that this was requested. That rule set existed on the blockchain, and therefore it should be a valid vote. I like that. That's very cool.
Yes. So if we'll later go to Noisy account, here we see a response, right? So we'll go to more detail. No, one more time, Steem doesn't work. It's not us, sorry. As you can see, let's arrow to refresh that. Yes, Noisy2. So as you can see, here's normal upvote.
Yes, 50%. Nice.
This post, as if I reloaded, that was first. Wow, it's long. Probably deserve an upvote.
Yeah,
that was before.
You got lucky with that one.
I will evaluate that. I'm pretty sure. But okay, I reloaded that, and as you can see, yes, this is here voted.
That's great.
And as you can see here, vote, and at the same time to this vote is attached this custom JSON with information where the request was for this post, right? And the message, if, for example, something would change, there was a place to place information about why that was rejected. But in most cases, if everything will work, this will be just a confirmation and attached to the vote. But here, as you can see, you have a transaction ID. So you can go directly to this transaction if that would be
I got you.
Yeah, and you will see where you'll be able to. This is this transaction ID, right? So you'll be able to actually link everything together and make sure. Okay, now we know that how this works, right? So. So as you can see, this works, and right now I'm delegating my vote to like probably 20 people. I actually asked a community of Polish community, what are the experts in our Polish community, and community elected like a few people, which I later evaluated manually. Okay, I like this expert. I think that supporting programming tag is important, but maybe another tag not so much, right? So I personally choose certain people, and as you can see, lately, all the votes were actually from other people. This was finally I can have a break, because sometimes I want to simply focus on programming stuff for Steam community, right? And I didn't need to right now worry that my vote will be wasted or not properly set. And suddenly, what I noticed, my curation rewards peaked, really, because those experts are able to notice great content much more quickly, and they actually can recognize the great value in those posts. So actually, I can have a break. I can always vote if I want to. I can always go to one particular post and check. Actually, this is like a better trending page for me than I can find in any other place, because those people like saying that this is great, this is great, this is great, right? So as you can see right now, this is not the easiest way to vote right now, and I will show you just some short demo how this will actually work. So this is how we are going to integrate that into Steemit with the extension. So what people will be able to do, they will be able to just browse Steemit, and they will have browser extension integrated with Steam Connect. And if there will be a post which will fit the criteria of some delegator, they will just have another button. I can vote with my button, but hey, I can also give to that post even more. So now it's time to me to actually evaluate that. And what is really important, people will be able to always choose, right? Whether they want to use maybe only 50%, maybe 20%, or maybe only choose to vote from one delegator, not from all of them. This is different from trials, when the person which is followed do not have a choice. How to actually manage the vote of the other people. So
this is cool. So a question for you: if I go in and I let's say my Steam power is just getting wrecked, like or my voting power, it's just like everyone's using it and they're loving it and they're voting up all kinds of crazy stuff. If I want to go in and modify all my rules and bring them down a little bit from 100%, maybe bring them to 50%. Would I have the ability to do that? And if I kept the name the same of the rule, would it always pull the newest version of that rule?
Yes.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Yeah, I think that would be a really cool feature. Even just say, oh man, I'm voting up a whole bunch of stuff right now. My voting power is going too low. I want to just basically take everything down by 20% or take everything down by 50%, and even just move all my rules down and then move them back again. This is cool, man. I like it. I think it's really cool.
Whole system is designed in such a way that you will be able actually to prevent such a situation. You will be able to say, you can vote with my vote, but only if I have such amount.
Even better. Yes. You could set a limit based on your current voting strength. Yeah, that's fantastic.
We are preparing a list of rules. Not of them are already implemented. We wanted to ask the community what we should implement first. Should we, for example, set up a rule that you will be able to use 700% of my voting power during a week. So you could vote 7 times during a week, or maybe one day, and so on and so on. So this is one possible rules, right? But the whole beauty is that people will be able to add own rules. And what is really, really interesting, those rules do not have to be like part of the consensus, global consensus. What I mean, if I create a rule for you, this is a deal between us. I trust you in this particular area. If we would like to cheat the community, we can still pretend and post some random custom JSON, right? So this is always a deal between us. Like, I trust you, so we just do not need to agree about one way of evaluating all the rules. So someone could create a simple API which would say you can vote for any stuff on any post on Steemit if this post get maybe 100 upvotes on Reddit. So just simple API would need to be exposed, which could check whether this post fit any criteria.
So you're essentially building the framework for our AI overlords at some point, right? It sounds like you've built a rules engine that has a flexible capacity for creating new rules between individuals. I think that's a beautiful thing. That's very cool.
I'd really like to think
open source, I imagine? Like anybody can go and play with this?
Everything is open source.
Fantastic.
We have 3 repositories. Please go there, check everything, report some bugs, or give us any suggestions. This is design. I like to think about WISE that this is actually a protocol, because this is actually very simple, natural. We use just custom JSON. If this will be like a success, maybe later someday this could be integrated to Steem directly, but it doesn't have to actually.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, when communities come around, like, this could be a feature that they, at some point, once we get HiveMind going, this might be something that they look at and go, oh my gosh, this makes perfect sense. Community managers could then be given control of different delegations where they could actually be handing out votes to their top people within their community. You could even do contests to say, hey, you've been providing so much great input for this specific community that we're going to award you some votes that you can do through WISE. That's really cool.
Imagine this. Right now, Steemit delegate a lot of Steem power to services like Utopian, DTube, or maybe to DTube DLive. Let's discuss that. And someone on DTube DLive needs to decide how to cast this very powerful vote. But how this could be done? Steemit could delegate create rules for everyone. You have certain amount of vote to cast directly for DLive content or
yes. I mean, their vote is so powerful, it would be great to have it limited to like 10%, for example. And then that way they are incentivized to spread it out based on a lot of different content. And again, it can be based on specific rules too. So they can't go and like just flag somebody they don't like, you know?
What I mean, I believe that the purpose of this delegation is to make sure that DLive content, for example, will get a lot of rewards. But my problem is that this is not the perfect situation when only few people can actually decide how this could be used. But if maybe 1,000 people can vote how to vote for DLive content because they will have strict rules set up directly by Steemit, suddenly decision-making process is completely different. No one needs to take a responsibility, such a high responsibility. And I believe this could be a relief to those big moderators and so on, because it's pretty difficult to make everyone happy, right?
Yeah. This is great. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And it still, again, gives the control, unlike a delegation right now, it gives control back to the original account holders so they don't have to waste time flagging something. If they didn't agree with it, they can just remove their vote, and that's simple and it's easy. And that's, this is great. I'm excited about
it. Here, for example, just a few mentions. Here we have like examples of different setups for delegators. So, for example, if you want to delegate someone a vote with rules, like, for example, don't vote for not safe for work content.
Nice. Yeah, very cool.
Something like that. You can define anything you like. Or there's also another really powerful case. I think this is really great. Self-boost. What is that? For example, this is Andrew. Andrew is our graphic designer, and I really love his work. I know that he is expert when it comes to graphic design. And what I created something like self-boost, a rule that he can vote for himself. Currently, there are no other restrictions, but I could say, for example, you can vote for yourself with my vote maybe once a week or maybe once a month.
It's almost a way to pay someone using your Steem power.
I mean, in theory, yes, but this is, I do not like paying for votes or anything like that. But imagine this. Look, I could give you my full vote once, for example, 3 months without any problem, right? Because I know, I'm pretty confident that once a while you have some release of important project, and you will have a power to decide when is the best time to utilize my vote. And probably I'm pretty sure that you will not waste this vote, because it's rare. You cannot use it every day. So you will police yourself to use it on the best content. Right.
And it's also very interesting because of the way the design is. If I just know that I've got some content that I really am excited about and I put a lot of effort into and I think the community is going to love, then I can vote on it first and then bring in the whale votes, and now I get a nice curation reward.
Yes, and this is perfect. Also, you will have higher curation. I will also get probably higher curation because you give me an opportunity to support you early. Yeah. Right. So this is a win-win situation probably for both sides. If this actually translates to real numbers, we will be able to check that pretty soon. Everything is transparent. We are analyzing this, but we need more data to actually say, for example, this is more profitable than curation guilds. I believe this can be true, right? And so on and so on. So. A lot of things happening, right?
That's very cool. Well, thank you so much for the run through. I'm sure there's probably a ton more you could talk about, but let's keep it a little bit short so it doesn't go on forever. I'm looking forward to tracking the progress of this thing, and it's just, for me personally, it's very exciting to see a conversation at Steamfest, turn into something real, something actually pretty cool. I just think that's really, really neat, and I think you did a great job so far. I'm looking forward to learning more about this as it progresses and continues to grow. And I'm excited to hear about what the community thinks about it. Because again, it's one of those things where whenever we start trading our votes around, vote trading could be a problem, obviously. And that's actually what we talked about at the table. I was concerned right away. I kind of shot it down about all the negative ways this could be used. And I still feel a lot of those are important, but also at the same time, this could be used powerfully. Like, for example, this could encourage downvotes, and the platform needs more downvotes. I could be giving out my delegation to downvotes only to say, look, I want to have X percentage of my Steem being used to protect the blockchain and to not be to deal with spam, to deal with
and this is so great in so many levels. Just in few words, imagine people are afraid of flagging because they are afraid of revenge. Right, and they do not want to deal with some new users which do not understand how this works and so on. So what they can do, they can use more powerful account to flag without like fear that someone will revenge, because at the beginning, someone new will notice the flag. Okay, that was from Noisy, and this person will not know that he need to check on different places or maybe install a Wise extension to notice that that was actually casted by someone else. So at the beginning, this flagged person will be mad at completely different for me, and I'm okay with that, for example, because
I think it's beautiful because again, this is what happens. We see some people, they get in these flag wars because they don't have enough Steem power to actually defend themselves when they're like, wait, I just thought I did something healthy and good for the community by downvoting something that needed to be downvoted, and yet now my reputation just went to negative because somebody just flagged me to oblivion because they had more money than I did. So yeah, I think that's just one example of how this can be used well. It's just, in my view, it's just empowering the community to have more options and more control, and that's always going to be a cool thing for me. I'm always going to support that. So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up here, and then let's maybe revisit it in the future as you guys continue the roadmap. We can talk about it.
I need to add one disclaimer because you said that I've built that. I need to say that I like design a way. I design a protocol, but we actually have fortune that we get a guy which implemented DAI. This is the guy Jędrzej. He is like great programmer. I would be really bad person if I would get all the credit. So I'm not doing that alone, right? We are a team of 3 people, which we are running, by the way, a witness, no noisy dot witness on Steem. We are not on to the top 50, so people need to type our name directly, but this is not one person effort. This is a little bit more difficult to do that alone. So I'm grateful that I have good partners.
Very, very cool. Well, thank you so much again for giving me the little demo. I'm looking forward to sharing this on my blog. I hope you share it as well, so we can just get this spread out there and people can check it out. But yeah, any last words or last thoughts? And thank you again for promoting the people that have worked so hard on this. I think that's really cool.
Last word, don't trust, verify, of course, right? And give us feedback. I think this is the most important thing. Would be very happy to support people which would like to delegate this to other people, because it's super easy to convince someone, you can vote with my vote, right? It's a little bit more difficult to find people which would like to delegate to others, because even right now it's require more effort. So we are looking for feedback.
A new level of trust to be able to say you can vote on anything and everything you want. This actually goes back to, like you said, you can trust but verify in a way that I like. And also too, I love the concept of, blocks or it didn't happen, and everything you just showed me is on the blockchain, and that's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording call now, but this was awesome. Appreciate it, Noisy.
Great. Thanks for having me.